At the heart of Islamic civilization, governance and faith were inextricably linked. The Grand Mosque and the palace stood side by side. Indeed, we sent our messengers with clear signs, and we sent down with them the book and the balance, so that men might uphold justice.
Muhammad is not but a messenger. Will you turn about on your heels? Will you turn about on your heels?
Imam Ali stressed the need for a powerful government. He stated that the laws of Allah need to be implemented by human beings. Men cannot do without a ruler, good or evil.
The Kharijites used a true statement. Imam Ali argued that state protection is essential. Men cannot do without a ruler.
Nahjul-Balagha on state is one of the most frequently discussed issues in the book, and to anyone who goes through it, it is evident to what extent Imam Ali is sensitive to the issues related to government and justice. He considers them to be of paramount importance. For those who lack an understanding of Islam but have knowledge of the teachings of other religions, it is astonishing why a religious personality should devote himself to this sort of problem. Don't such problems relate to the world and worldly life? Shouldn't a sage keep aloof from the matters of the world and society? They thus wonder. On the other hand, such a thing is not at all surprising for one acquainted with the teachings of Islam and the details of Imam Ali's life. That he was brought up from childhood by the Holy Prophet of Islam, that the Prophet, having taken him from his father as a child, had reared him in his home under his own care, that the Prophet had trained him and instructed him in his own characteristic way, teaching him the secrets of Islam. Ali's spirit had assimilated within itself the doctrines of Islam and the code of its laws. Therefore, it is not unusual that he should have been as such. Rather, it would have been astonishing if he was not as such, as we find him to be. Does not the Holy Quran declare that indeed we sent our messengers with the clear signs, and we sent down with them the book and the balance, so that men might uphold justice? In this verse, the establishment of justice has been declared as the objective of the mission of all the prophets. The sanctity of justice is so stressed that it is considered the aim of all prophetic missions. Hence, how were it possible that someone like Imam Ali, whose duty was to expound the teachings of the Holy Quran and explain the doctrines and laws of Islam, might have ignored this issue, or at least accorded it a secondary importance? Those who neglect these issues in their teachings, or imagine that these problems are only of marginal significance and that the central issues are those of ritual purity and impurity, it is essential that they should re-examine their own beliefs and views.
The first thing which must be examined is the significance and value attached to the issue of government and justice by Nahjul-Balagha. Indeed, what is essentially the importance of these problems in Islam? A thorough discussion of this question is obviously outside the scope of this book, but by way of a casual reference, however, it seems inevitable to lightly touch upon. The Holy Quran, in the verse where it commands the Prophet to inform the people that Imam Ali would succeed him as the leader of the Muslims and the Prophet's Khalifa, declares the following with extraordinary insistence. O Messenger, communicate that which has been sent down to you from your Lord, for if you do not do so, you will not have delivered his message at all. Is there any other issue in Islam to which this much importance is attached? What other issue is of such a significance that, if not communicated to the people, it would amount to the failure of the prophetic mission itself? During the Battle of Uhud, when the Muslims were defeated and the rumor spread that the Holy Prophet had been killed, a group of Muslims fled from the battlefield. Referring to this incident, the Holy Quran says the following: Muhammad is not but a messenger. Messengers have passed away before him. Why, if he should die or is slain, will you turn about on your heels? Allama Tabatabai, in an article titled Wilayat wa Hukumat, derives the following conclusion from the above verse. If the messenger is killed in battle, it should not in any way stall, even temporarily, your struggle. Immediately afterwards, you should place yourselves under the banner of the successor to the Prophet and continue your endeavor. In other words, if supposedly the Prophet is killed, or if he dies, the social system and military organization of the Muslims should not disintegrate. There is one hadith wherein the Prophet said, if as few as 3 persons go on a journey, they must appoint one from among themselves as their leader. From this, one may infer to what extent the Prophet regarded as harmful the disorder and absence of authority that could resolve social conflicts and serve as a unifying bond among individuals. Nahjul-Balagha deals with numerous problems concerning the state and social justice, a few of which, Allah willing, we shall discuss here.
The first problem to be discussed here is that of the necessity and value of a state. Imam Ali has repeatedly stressed the need for a powerful government and, in his own time, battled against the views propagated by the Kharijites, who, in the beginning, denied the need for a state, considering the Holy Quran as sufficient. The slogan of the Kharijites, as is known, was, "The right of judgment belongs exclusively to Allah," a phrase adopted from the Holy Quran. Its Quranic meaning is that the prerogative of legislation belongs to Allah, or those whom Allah has permitted to legislate. But the Kharijites interpreted it differently. According to Imam Ali, they had imparted a false sense to a true statement. The essence of their view was that no human being has any right to rule others. Sovereignty belongs exclusively to Allah. Ali's argument was that, yes, he also says that the right of legislation belongs solely to Allah, but their claim that the prerogative to govern and to lead also belongs to Allah is not reasonable. After all, the laws of Allah need to be implemented by human beings. Men cannot do without a ruler, good or evil. It is under the protection of a state that the believers strive for Allah's sake, and the unbelievers derive material benefit from their worldly endeavors, and men attain the fruits of their labor. It is through the authority of the state that taxes are collected, aggressors are repelled, the security of highways is maintained, and the weak reclaim their rights from the strong. This process continues until the good citizens are happy and secure from the evils of miscreants. Imam Ali, like other godly men and spiritual leaders, despises temporal power and political office for being lowly and degrading when it serves as an instrument of gratification of lust for power and political ambition. He looks down upon it with extreme contempt when it is desired as an end in itself and aspired as an ideal of life. He considers such kind of power to be devoid of any value, considering it to be more detestable than a pig's bone in a leper's hand. But the same power and leadership, if used as a means for the establishment and execution of social justice and service to society, is regarded by him as a thing of paramount sanctity, something for which he is willing to fight any opportunist and political adventurer seeking to grab power and illegitimate wealth. In its defense, he does not hesitate to draw his sword against plunderers and usurpers.
During the days of Ali's caliphate, Abdallah ibn Abbas once went to see him. He found Ali mending his old shoes with his own hand. Turning to Ibn Abbas, Ali asked him, "How much do you think this shoe is worth?" "Nothing," replied Ibn Abbas. Ali said, "Yet the same shoe is of more value to me than authority over you folks, if it were not to me a means for establishing justice, recovering the rights of the deprived, and wiping out evil practices." In Sermon 216, we come across a general discussion about human rights and duties. Here, Imam Ali states that every right always involves two parties. Of the various divine duties, the ones which Allah has ordained are duties of people towards people. They are framed in such a way that each right necessitates a duty towards others. Each right which benefits an individual or a group holds the individual or group responsible to fulfill some duty towards others. Every duty becomes binding when the other party also fulfills his duty. He says the following further regarding this issue. But the most important of the reciprocal rights that Allah has made obligatory is the right of the ruler over the subjects and the rights of the subjects over the ruler. It is a mutual and reciprocal obligation decreed by Allah for them. He has made it the basis of the strength of their society and of their religion. Consequently, the subjects cannot prosper unless the rulers are righteous. The rulers cannot be righteous unless the subjects are firm and steadfast. If the subjects fulfill their duties toward the ruler and the ruler his duty to them, righteousness prevails among them. Only then are the objectives of the religion realized, the pillars of justice become stable, and wholesome traditions become established. In this way, better conditions of life and social environment emerge. People become eager to safeguard the integrity of the state and thus frustrate the plots of its enemies. The turning point in understanding the true significance of government and justice in Nahjul-Balagha comes when we realize that Imam Ali viewed the state not as an end in itself, but as a means to achieve the higher objectives of justice, equity, and the implementation of divine laws. He fought against the Kharijites not because he loved power, but because he understood that without a strong and just government, the laws of Allah would remain unimplemented, the weak would be oppressed, and society would descend into chaos. This is why he emphasized that men cannot do without a ruler, good or evil, because even an unjust ruler is better than the total absence of order and authority. This pragmatic yet principled approach to governance reveals the depth of Imam Ali's understanding of human society and the role of religion in public life.
He also made it clear that the authority of the state is not a license for tyranny, but a trust and a responsibility. The ruler is not the owner of the people, but their servant and guardian. He must be accountable to Allah and to the people, and he must use his power to establish justice, protect the weak, and ensure the welfare of all citizens. This is why Imam Ali considered the right of the ruler over the subjects and the rights of the subjects over the ruler as the most important of reciprocal rights. He understood that a healthy society is built on a foundation of mutual rights and duties, where both the ruler and the ruled fulfill their obligations to one another. Without this balance, society cannot prosper, religion cannot flourish, and the objectives of divine law cannot be realized. The Kharijites' slogan, La hukm illa lillah, was a misinterpretation of a Quranic truth. Imam Ali agreed that the right of legislation belongs to Allah alone, but he rejected the Kharijite conclusion that this eliminates the need for human authority to implement those laws. The laws of Allah need to be applied in the real world by human beings who have the authority to enforce them. Without such authority, the laws remain mere ideals, unenforced and unapplied. This is why he insisted on the necessity of a state, not as a rival to divine sovereignty, but as an instrument for implementing it. The state, in his view, is not a human invention, but a divine institution, a means through which the will of Allah is carried out on earth. Imam Ali's own example is a powerful testament to this principle. He lived with utmost simplicity and humility, mending his own shoes and eating the simplest of food, yet he did not shy from the responsibilities of governance. He accepted the caliphate not because he craved power, but because he saw it as a duty and a burden. He did not use his position for personal gain or luxury. He used it to establish justice, to recover the rights of the deprived, and to wipe out evil practices. His life serves as a model of righteous governance, showing that a ruler can be both powerful and humble, both authoritative and compassionate, both firm and just.
The importance of politics in Islam is not a matter of worldly ambition, but a matter of religious duty. The Holy Quran itself declares that the establishment of justice is the objective of all prophetic missions. This is not a secondary or marginal issue. It is central to the message of Islam. The Prophet Muhammad himself did not neglect the affairs of governance. He established a state, administered justice, led armies, and governed a community. His example was followed by his successors, especially Imam Ali, who continued this tradition with unwavering commitment. Those who think that religion is only about ritual purity and personal piety have misunderstood the comprehensive nature of Islam. Imam Ali's approach to governance and justice is also remarkable for its emphasis on the rights of the people. He reminded the rulers that the subjects have rights over them and that the rulers cannot prosper unless the subjects are firm and steadfast in their duties. This creates a relationship of mutual accountability, where both the ruler and the ruled are responsible to one another and to Allah. This is the foundation of a just society, where the rights of all are protected and the strong do not oppress the weak. The mutual obligations between the ruler and the subjects are the basis of social and religious strength. When both parties fulfill their duties, righteousness prevails, the pillars of justice become stable, wholesome traditions are established, and the society becomes strong and resilient. This is the vision of governance that Imam Ali presents in Nahjul-Balagha. It is a vision that is deeply rooted in Quranic teachings and the practice of the Prophet. It is a vision that calls for rulers to be just, compassionate, and accountable, and for citizens to be obedient, supportive, and vigilant. This vision is as relevant today as it was 14 centuries ago. The world still struggles with issues of governance, justice, and the rights of citizens. The teachings of Imam Ali provide a timeless framework for addressing these challenges. He reminds us that power is a trust, not a privilege. He reminds us that justice is the foundation of society, not an option. He reminds us that the rights of the weak must be protected from the strong. He reminds us that the ruler must be accountable to the people and to Allah. May Allah grant us the wisdom to understand the teachings of Nahjul-Balagha on governance and justice, and the strength to implement them in our lives. May He guide our leaders to be just, compassionate, and accountable, and may He protect our societies from oppression and tyranny. May He make us among those who uphold justice and who stand against injustice wherever we find it. May He bless Imam Ali and the Al-Bayt, and may He make us among those who follow their noble example. Amen.